contribution by the second. And collectively, you've already contributed a total of 50 merge PRs to our mainly the core repo. Thank you very much. And all of this is happening before Google even published a rule for GSOC 2022 season. So thank you very much for your enthusiastic response. The actual program will be open for organization application in early February, and we intend to apply, and fingers crossed, I would have shown you my finger crossed with the cameras on, to be accepted for this season. We do realize that our huge complex production code base is not easy to learn and understand, and really do appreciate so many of you started so early with us to mount this super steep learning curve. Our community team has pledged to do everything possible, you see them in those channels, to make your learning experience toward your very first PR as smooth as possible. So please stay with us, stick with us. Reminder to all of you that GSOC 2022, unlike all previous seasons, is open to everyone globally over 18 who loves to code. And it's not just open to university or code school students. So please let all your friends and colleagues know to join you. Coding is more fun when we all do it together. Thanks.
And Sing, for whoever wants to subscribe, how people needs to do it.
Okay, I will post a link in the channel, and they just join that channel and introduce themselves. They can start right away. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Sing. Chris, would you like to give a little introduce about the products, what we are planning, all the things that we're planning to this year, the last updates that we had? Go ahead. I'd like you to talk a little bit about this.
Yeah, definitely. So everyone, Happy New Year. And my reminder for the day is, anytime any of us are feeling overloaded with stuff, reach out to Sing or Gabriel, because we have Gabriel, the ultimate optimist at all times, always reminding us to have fun. So that's those are key things. Just to echo what Sing was saying, super excited about this year's GSOC program, and we're excited to get that ramped up in terms of discussions, planning, different projects. So just want to note that. In terms of updates on a few things recently, I don't want to kind of rehash release notes, but I do want to touch on a few key things that I think are really important. First, as I think people know, we really have a lot of growth with our omni-channel product, our omni-channel use case, where different organizations, communities, et cetera, are extending the reach of Rocket.chat to communicate with their customers, their prospects, their constituents via a variety of channels. One of the key things that we have in place with omnichannel is the ability to have different departments with different queues for managing those customer conversations. And an ongoing challenge that we've heard about is the need for fallback departments. So if one department is not available, we want conversations to roll over to another queue so that the organization can be responsive. So with our December release, we now have fallback departments. So really good step. Anyone who is using omnichannel, having a significant volume of conversations, definitely encourage you guys to check that out. Okay. Another item, WhatsApp. So for everyone who has added the WhatsApp business app for Rocket.chat, asked us questions, given us feedback, thank you for that. One of the key things with our WhatsApp app is things move pretty quickly. There are a lot of different capabilities, so we do expect to be adding new capabilities regularly. So with the December release, we also added location sharing. One of the things we heard really quickly out of the gate is, people expect to be able to communicate with businesses, with organizations in the same way as they communicate with their friends and family. So if you're sharing your location with friends and family, people expect to be able to do the same thing where appropriate with an organization. And that might be used for, a field service call by a telecom company. It may be used in a variety of different ways. We now have location sharing enabled. It's really cool, and we have multiple organizations who are now using that. So again, thank you for everyone's feedback on that. Okay. One other item in terms of December. Actually, I'm going to give you two. Hope that's okay. First one, file uploads from mobile. One of the things that we've seen over the last couple of years with the growth of the Rocket.chat community is we have more and more organizations who have a heavy focus on data sovereignty, data ownership, security around their operations. And we have organizations who have different security considerations when working on desktop in a controlled environment versus users who are using Rocket.chat via mobile apps. So one of the areas that we hear a lot about is mobile device management. How do you give the kind of that fine-grained control over what users can do from a mobile device versus when they're sitting in the organization's office or wherever it might be. So definitely a first step. But with December, we were able to introduce a change for common request, which is to allow or disallow file uploads from mobile. So that's now available. It's in as of December. And again, that's one of those items where, as we get feedback from our users community, that gives us a lot more insight into key things that are that are vital to our users. So again, thanks for that. That one is in. So last item that I want to highlight for December before handing things over to Vinny, category filters in Marketplace. So Rocket.chat Marketplace is a key part of our future. And so historically, we haven't had a lot of app inventory in Marketplace, but that's now going to start to change pretty rapidly. So to prepare for that, a couple things are happening. One, we've introduced category filters, and then soon everyone will see a redesign of that Marketplace experience. We're doing that in advance of what we expect to be a pretty significant expansion of app inventory. So just wanted to let you guys know that that's happening. You're starting to see some of those initial Marketplace changes that will be followed by a more wholesale UI update. And that leads me to the conversation that Vinny is going to take you guys through, which is Apps Engine. So to introduce that topic, give you guys an understanding of where we're heading. We see Apps Engine as a key part of our strategy going forward. Apps Engine is our toolkit for being able to, in a safe, encapsulated way, expose Rocket.chat core capabilities to apps developers, like many people on the call today, so that you can create customized experiences within Rocket.chat for the types of users that you support, the types of organizations that you want to work with, without having to change core Rocket.chat code. So as we go, we're looking to expose more and more capabilities via Apps Engine. That toolkit continues to expand, and throughout the course of the year, we fully expect in all 4 quarters this year, we'll have updates on expanding Apps Engine. In relation to that also, our core internal team is beginning to use those extended capabilities to create new apps. It's our dog fooding approach of making sure that we eat our own dog food here, and that we try out all these new capabilities. We prove them out with app development, and we're really looking forward to hearing everyone's feedback as well as we go. So with that, I'll hand it over to Vinny to take you guys through some of the things that have been recently delivered for Apps Engine and some of the cool new things that are upcoming.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year again. I'm Vinicius Marino. I'm product manager and responsible for the marketplace team and also the apps engine team. I have been working with the team since like last 6 months or something like that. And the last release, we delivered a couple of new improvements and new capabilities on the apps engine that helps the apps to start to bring more valuable experience through the Rocket.chat platform. So before this new capabilities, for example, one of them is about the action buttons around the Rocket.chat. That means before this, you have to use mostly slash commands to activate some app feature or to call something like a model or something like that. So now you can distribute these actions around the Rocket.chat through a message menu, for example, or in the room menu, or also in the message composer, that plus button that we have on the right side. So now you can create this kind of actions to allow your app to generate some action, like to open a modal or to send a message or whatever you plan it to. Also, within that, we have also the contextual bar. So contextual bar is well known for everyone that use Rocket.chat, where you can see the user list in the room, for example, or information about the room and something like that. And now, through the apps engine, you are capable to use that contextual bar for your app. Options or features and whatever you decide to put there. So we introduced this on the last release, and so now combining both, you can have more flexibility and more options to using your app. For example, to click in an action button, for example, to open a list of different items, images, or a form, or any type of content that we want in this contextual bar, for example. And it works something similar with the modals. So it's kind of a surface. So this is something that we did to allow you to explore. So if you decide to use the modals, you can use the modals. But if you want to experiment the contextual bar instead, you can just switch to the contextual bar. So it's pretty easier to do it and to test different approaches. So this was the main features that we released in the last release in December. So now what we are working, what we have in the working progress, we have two different features. One of them is pretty simple. That is going to be delivered probably next release now in January. It's about the custom status. So currently, the apps engine can use the custom status for the users, but we had to make some improvements to allow to introduce like emojis and other how can I say, another minor and also custom emojis in general. So now we are adding this capability for the apps engine to be used, and we are developing a OAuth engine toolkit. So what that means. Currently, you can connect every OAuth service through the apps engine, but you have to do it by yourself, the whole development. So what we are doing now, we are creating new toolkits, new methods to make it easier to have this kind of connection. So this will help the publishers and the developers to create this authentication flows more easily and in a more secure way. So this is something that we are introducing as well, and it's a work in progress. We are almost there to deliver. Hopefully, we can deliver in the January release, but I cannot guarantee right now. And in terms of apps, like Christopher mentioned, we planned this year to develop a lot of apps. So that means that we don't want to develop an app just to develop an app. We want actually to develop an app to show the capabilities of the apps engine, but also because we have been lacking for some essential apps in general. So what the type of apps that we are introducing from now on is apps that most of people can use, even if it's a community server or a company server or our customers, doesn't matter. It will help all of them. So the first two apps we are delivering in the Q1 is the Google Calendar application and also the Trello app. So both of them are very useful for in a daily basis as a productivity type of app. And Google Calendar mostly because we're gonna use the both actually. We're gonna use the new OAuth engine toolkit to develop, and also the whole new features that I mentioned, like the action buttons, the contextual bar, and all these features to allow you other developers and all the community to see how to use them properly, because these apps will be open source for you, so you can check the code itself to see the examples, like practical examples, like how to use this, and also to allow you guys to help us to improve these apps as well. All of them will be exposed for you to help us not only with the issues maybe, or some PRs will be very welcome, but also to give us some feedbacks about your experience in using the same features in the apps engine as well. So this is the work in progress. And in terms of near future, we have been thinking in some very good features that we want to introduce this year. One of them the most excited one is about the app tabs. This is pretty interesting because we are thinking about to allowing apps to create different tabs, kind of a browser navigation tabs inside the Rocket.chat, inside a room. So that means some apps that we sometimes, like for example, a calendar app that I mentioned, or a Google Drive app or something like that, that you need to go to another place to check the content. Maybe through the apps engine makes sense to open a tab inside the room so you can check directly in Rocket.chat. To open inside the Rocket.chat platform, so you can we won't lose context during during the use. So if you have, like for example, an app, a whiteboard app, for example, you can open a new tab inside the room, and you can continue to chat with the people around and use that specific platform that we want in another tab. So you can switch between them. So this is the most excited one that we are planning. Also, we have some other good options, good candidates that we want to introduce as well. One of them is the Career Builder. The Career Builder will be a way, some toolkits that we want to develop to allow to the developer to have access to some information from Rocket.chat without needing to touch the database itself. So in this way, we can create more flexibility, for example, to get some essential information from a user, for example, from a room, without needing to touch the database directly. So this is one of the features that we are planning as well. Also, we have the assets manager. This feature will allow you to, during the submission process with the app, to introduce some assets that you want to use, like images, maybe videos or audio or other type of media in general, and can be used directly on Rocket.chat without needing to rely to external URL, for example. So you can provide these assets and use inside the Rocket.chat, around the Rocket.chat, like in the chat rooms, or even some specific lists, or in contextual bars, and whatever you need. And I believe this. Oh, I have another one that pretty good for the developers itself that I believe it's worth to mention. But we are thinking in a feature to help not the developer itself, but the admins in general. We are thinking to introduce a better way to manage the logs, the app logs for the admins around the Rocket Chat, because currently it's not so easy to find some errors or to treat these. So we are planning to introduce a better way to provide this information in a more structured way, and also in the marketplace side to allow you to search this more easily, like using some filtering, search bar, and whatever. And I believe that's it.
Thank you very much, Vinny.
That's it. That's all.
Only that? Only that? That's few things?
There's more, but I don't have a lot of details already.
That's great, Vinny. Thank you very much for
Yeah,
joining us today. If someone has any question, anything they want to comment, please share here or be very open to open your camera or open your microphone and say something and discuss. We are very open to listen to you guys. As we always say, this call is just for you. It's just for to share, to listen, to exchange. So please feel very welcome to join live any way you want. And thank you again very much, Vinny. Sorry, Chris. Oh, I think Chris is having some internet issue. He was going to say something.
Yeah, and hopefully I'm not lagging. Let me know if I am. But yeah, as examples on how to use those new capabilities. We're revamping Marketplace so that the apps that everyone creates can be properly showcased, and we're improving the publisher experience to just make it easier to publish, manage any of the apps that you guys put in the marketplace. So that's the overall direction.
Thank you very much, Chris. We have a question here from William. He's asking about the VoIP calls.
Yeah, so
yeah,
the
go ahead.
VoIP support is going into the February release, and that is in progress. The functionality looks great. We are going through tuning a number of different pieces of that. To be clear, one of the key things that we're making sure to do is to consume call information properly into the room object. So every time you start a voice over IP call, we're leveraging Rocket.chat architecture, obviously. So we're You're creating what essentially is a VoIP room. There are a variety of statistics that we want to collect from Asterisk on that event, to write them to the room so you have proper visibility into call history. That's the biggest part that's open that we're working on right now. That's a quick update. February is our release date for that initial pool of functionality. And William, if you have follow-ups, I'll keep an eye on your typing as we go there.
Yeah, let's see. Good. Thank for asking, William. And again, to our community, anything that you want to us to discuss for next calls, or anything that we would like us to address, please feel free to write them here, or go to our forum, or go to our community guys that you guys have a contact. And please fulfill us with the things that you would like to know, and for us to answer. We have another question here from Ian. Hello, let's see. I think it's generalized questions, but can you give some more precise beginner-friendly insights or tips regarding the Rocket.chat and the Google Summer of Code both? I think it's
singular.
Yeah. Actually, if you look back in the chat, I have actually entered a link to the room where everything is happening right now with Google Summer of Code. If you go in there, you'll actually find that we have set up a Rocket.chat team around everybody who's participating or wanted to participate in this year's Google Summer of Code. And there we have 8 or 9 breakout rooms where we discuss how to start. If you're on Mac, how you to start when you're on Windows, how to navigate the complex code structure. You get all the help that you will need for GSOC by just starting and joining with that link. So I encourage anybody who's interested to actually go there, introduce yourself, and then 60 people will be welcoming you into the community. Thanks.
And it's a very welcoming community.
It is, yes. We carry on the excellent Rocket.chat tradition that I have experienced myself. Actually, I do have a kind of follow-up on for Vinny. Is that many of our community are obviously app developer. They've heard about these exciting upcoming feature that's going to be upcoming in the next quarter. Is there any way that they can connect with you or the team in order to have some input, maybe some feedback on those features that are upcoming? And if you can share that, that would be really useful. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, Singh. Yeah, actually, through the open server, everyone is very welcome to send us a message. I can share you thinking about, for example, to have more close people together with us, discussing some technical ideas or technical aspects, receiving some inputs, and also giving us some feedbacks about. Maybe it could be a good idea to create a kind of open channel with the community to discuss specifically about the apps engine with our developers inside. So I believe it's very useful for us as well, mostly to receive feedback, because we are willing a lot to have more feedbacks about the development experience, because this will help us to drive our backlog, and also to drive more improvements in our documentation, for example.
Thank you very much, Vinny. And I have another really good news to share, and I'm gonna ask Singh to join us to talk about this. Also talking about education and about opening our doors. Singh, would you like to say a little bit about Rocket.chat University?
Sure. We've kind of working in Skunkworks for almost half a year on this. So we are very excited to announce that we'll be launching Rocket.chat University in mid-February, probably before the next community open call even. It will be a public learning center for everything Rocket.chat related. So users, administrators, and developers can all take interactive courses and even work towards certification by Rocket.chat. There will be more details to be announced in February. I can tell you that the first course that will be launching is centered around how to deploy Rocket.chat, how to run and administer a Rocket.chat server. The second course that we will have in February is a user course, and it is basically how to optimize your use of the endless features that we have in Rocket.chat. And we'll have more detail, including the link to where the university is in early February. Thanks, Pollyanna.
Thank you very much, Singh. We are very, very excited with this training and this university that we are opening for our community to be closer. Guys, any of you guys, I think you're missing anything? Rodrigo, Gabriel, Chris, Vinny, Singh, would like to comment something else? I think we are going towards a little bit to our end. I think it was a really, really good and then a lot of contents that we are sharing with the community. Again, we thank you all the community to be participating and to be here with us. We really want to listen to you guys. Go ahead, Gabe.
No, it was just a thanks for participating. Thanks Vinicius for sharing some great news about the apps engine. It's really going to be the driver for innovation in Rocket.chat moving forward. We really believe that that's the best way to engage the community and to have a healthy ecosystem of more and more extension and apps building different and new features that doesn't need to be shipped in the core code base, that everybody can just download the parts that they need, can have some private apps as well that doesn't need to be merged into the code base. So that's really an important milestone that is finally taking off. We've been working this for a long, long time, and now we're finally able to put the right amount of resources and get that to take off. So that was a very important information to share today. I'm very pleased.
To participate here. I believe it's worth to mention that we are planning to have a kind of a public roadmap view that we'll be able to share with the community about the apps engine, at least, about what we are doing, the work in progress, and what is the next candidates for the future quarters. So stay tuned with the community channels as soon as possible. As soon as we have everything in place, we're gonna share with you there.
Thank you very much, Vinny. All right, guys. So thank you again. And we see you in the next one in February with lots of other news. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Happy New
Thank
Year.
you and welcome.
Thank you,
Thanks
everyone.
for the
Bye.
invite. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.